Welcome to Facts Time. To get more videos, please subscribe to our channel and press bell icon to get latest notifications.
Hi guys, today we are going to know about the Great Wall of China. To know about this Great Wall, we need to go back in the history back in 771 BC. Let's start the video. The history of the Great Wall of China began when fortifications built by various states during the spring and autumn, 771 to 476 BC, and warring states periods, 475 to 221 BC, were connected by the first emperor of China, Qin Shi Huang, to protect his newly founded Qin dynasty, 221 to 206 BC, against incursions by nomads from Inner Asia. The walls were built of rammed earth, constructed using forced labor, and by 212 BC ran from Gansu to the coast of southern Manchuria. Later dynasties adopted different policies towards northern frontier defense. The Han, 202 BC to 220 AD, the northern Qi, 550 to 574, the Jurchen Jin, 1115 to 1234, and particularly the Ming, 1369 to 1644, were among those that rebuilt, remanned, and expanded the walls, although they rarely followed Qin's routes. Although a useful deterrent against raids, at several points throughout its history, the Great Wall failed to stop enemies, including in 1644 when the Manchu Qing marched through the gates of Shanhai Pass, and replaced the most ardent of the wall-building dynasties, the Ming, as rulers of China. The Great Wall of China visible today largely dates from the Ming dynasty, as they rebuilt much of the wall in stone and brick, often extending its line through challenging terrain. Some sections remain in relatively good condition or have been renovated, while others have been damaged or destroyed for ideological reasons, deconstructed for their building materials or lost due to the ravages of time. For long an object of fascination for foreigners, the wall is now a revered national symbol and a popular destination. One of the first mentions of a wall built against northern invaders is found in a poem, dated from the 7th century BC, recorded in the classic of poetry. The poem tells of a king, now identified as King Shuen, r. 827 to 782 BC, of the Western Zhou dynasty, 1046 to 771 BC, who commanded General Nanzhong to build a wall in the northern regions to fend off the Xianyun. The Xianyun, whose base of power was in the Ordos region, were regarded as part of the charioteering Rong tribes, and their attacks aimed at the early Zhou capital region of Hojing, were probably the reason for King Xuan's response. Nanzhong's campaign was recorded as a great victory. However, only a few years later in 771 BC another branch of the Rong people, the Quan Rong, responded to a summons by the renegade Marquis of Shen by overrunning the Zhou defenses and laying waste to the capital. The cataclysmic event killed King Xuan's successor King Yu, 795 to 771 BC. With smaller states being annexed and larger states waging constant war upon one another, many rulers came to feel the need to erect walls to protect their borders. Of the earliest textual reference to such a wall was the state of Chu's wall of 656 BC, 1,400 meters, 4,600 feet, of which were excavated in southern Henan province in the modern era. However, the Chu border fortifications consisted of many individual mountain fortresses. They do not constitute to a lengthy, single wall. The state of Qi also had fortified borders up by the 7th century BC, and the extant portions in Shandong province had been christened the Great Wall of Qi. The state of Wei built two walls, the western one completed in 361 BC and the eastern in 356 BC, with the extant western wall found in Hancheng, Shanxi. Even non-Chinese peoples built walls, such as the Du state of Zhongshan and the Yikrong, whose walls were intended to defend against the state of Qin. Of these walls, those of the northern states Yan, Zhao, and Qin were connected by Qin Shi Huang when he united the Chinese states in 221 BC. Often in addition to the wall, the defensive system included garrisons and beacon towers inside the wall, and watchtowers outside at regular intervals. In terms of defense, the walls were generally effective at countering cavalry shock tactics, but there are doubts as to whether these early walls were actually defensive in nature. Nicola di Cosmo points out that the northern frontier walls were built far to the north and included traditionally nomadic lands, and so rather than being defensive, the walls indicate the northward expansion. This theory is supported by the archaeological discovery of nomadic artifacts within the walls, suggesting the presence of pre-existing or conquered barbarian societies. It is entirely possible, as Western scholars like Di Cosmo and Lattimore suggest, that nomadic aggression against the Chinese in the coming centuries was partly caused by Chinese expansionism during this period. Great Wall of Qi. The oldest linear defensive wall was built by the state of Qi to defend itself from southern states of Zhou and Lu and later on, from the Kingdom of Zhou. Construction of the wall started in 685 BC, and the existing sections date back to 500 BC. The wall stretches from the areas under the administration of the present-day city of Jinan. Great Wall of Yan. The state of Yan, the easternmost of the three northern states, began to erect walls after the general Qin Kai drove the Donghu people back 1,000 li during the reign of Jiping, King Zhao of Yan, 312–279 BC, R311–279 BC. 32. The Yan Wall stretched from the Liaodong Peninsula, through Chifeng, and into northern Hebei, possibly bringing its western terminus near the Zhao Walls. The ruins in Zhenping County, Chaoyang, are its best existing section. Ruins of the Yan Great Wall were also found close to the Ming Great Wall at Badaling, Chongping, northeast of Beijing. A southern Yan Wall was erected to defend against the Zhao. It was southwest of present-day Beijing and ran parallel to the Juma River for several dozen miles. Great Wall of Zhao. The Zhao walls to the north were built under King Wu Ling of Zhao, R325–299 BC, whose groundbreaking introduction of nomadic cavalry into his army reshaped Chinese warfare and gave Zhao an initial advantage over his opponents. He attacked the Xiongnu tribes of Linhu and Laofan to the north, then waged war on the state of Zhongshan until it was annexed in 296 BC. In the process, he constructed the northernmost fortified frontier deep in nomadic territory. The Zhao walls were dated in the 1960s to be from King Wu Ling's reign, a southern long wall in northern Henan encompassing the Yanmen Pass, a second line of barricades encircling the Ordos Loop, extending from Zhangjiakou in the east to the ancient fortress of Jake in the Urad front banner, and a third, northernmost line along the southern slopes of the Yian Mountains, extending from Qing in the east, passing north of Hohhot, and into Baotou. Great Wall of Qin. Qin was originally a state on the western fringe of the Chinese political sphere, but it grew into a formidable power in the later parts of the Warring States period when it aggressively expanded in all directions. In the north, the state of Wei and the Yik built walls to protect themselves from Qin aggression, but were still unable to stop Qin from eating into their territories. The Qin reformist Shangyang forced the Wei out of their walled area west of the Yellow River in 340 BC, and King Hui Wen of Qin, R338–311 BC, took 25 Yik forts in a northern offensive. When King Hui Wen died, his widow the Queen Dowager Xuan acted as regent because the succeeding sons were deemed too young to govern. During the reign of King Baoshang, R306–251 BC, the Queen Dowager apparently entered illicit relations with the Yik king and gave birth to two of his sons, but later tricked and killed the Yik king. Following that coup, the Qin army marched into Yik territory at the Queen Dowager's orders. The Qin annihilated the Yik remnants and thus came to possess the Ordos region. At this point the Qin built a wall around their new territories to defend against the true nomads even further north, incorporating the Wei walls. As a result, an estimated total of 1,775 kilometers, 1,103 miles, of Qin walls, including spurts, extended from southern Gansu to the bank of the Yellow River in the Zheng'er Banner, close to the border with Zhao at the time. Hope you liked the video. We'll come up with more interesting videos. Please subscribe to our channel and press bell icon, like this video and share this video. Till then, have a great day.